Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
It's good to be back. I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies, and this is the Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Hi, everybody. Happy Christmas
boy.
in July to you. It was off to a weird start yesterday with Mission Mondays.
Mission Mondays is a way to start Christmas in July.
Yes.
And next week we'll do the same thing.
Well, it's
Tradition now.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Will we rank them after that? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Dan, I don't even know if you know this yet.
Probably not.
We needed a buffer
Really?
week with Rye Guy to
with
get
Rye
us
Guy.
to what
Yeah.
we're going to be doing
Next?
next month. And so we're doing an ABC Family Christmas movie from 1996 starring Brink.
You.
Eric Von Detten?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. No, I didn't know that at all.
Pretty excited about
I
that.
just keep me in the loop when you need to around here.
I'll keep you in the loop. You don't need to know that for
No,
another
I didn't need to know that
a little while.
for sure.
So you're good.
For absolute sure. And we're really excited about our coverage of the cruise.
Yes, Christmas at Sea.
We're covering it.
Yes, we are.
It's going to be different.
You and I, Dano.
Just the two of us.
Just the two of us. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Hallmark at sea.
So,
Just the two of us.
check that out. First one's tomorrow. Is
And
it
we're not
today?
going to spring it on anybody what we're doing.
No.
Okay. It's going to be an adventure.
Yeah.
It's not, there's no
At sea.
segments. There's no segments.
What?
Yeah. Wednesdays. Yeah.
How
Coming
you
out
gonna
tomorrow.
survive?
And
So
come
we
on out.
guarantee to land the plane in under 20 minutes. So it's like an episodette,
That's right.
a mini-sode.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. So you can look forward to that.
Mm-hmm,
And then Thursdays, we'll be hanging out with Patrick, doing some lifetime Christmas thrillers.
Ooh.
It's
Keeping
Christmas
it in that thriller
thriller.
space. And honestly, like the Christmas is an afterthought. but
Yeah, whatever.
and then Friday, Festive Fridays with Alonso.
course.
Per usual.
Of course. Of course.
This week, heading back to the sweet town of Holly, Michigan,
Yeah,
for Firemen for Christmas. So come and hang out with us for that. But first,
if you dare.
Tuesdays, classic Hallmark Christmas movies. Believe it or not, there's still some that we
Some are
haven't.
saying we're at the bottom of the barrel. Some are saying it.
Who's saying that?
Some are, many are saying.
Come on.
But
Many.
listen,
Many.
when you got Steve Lund out here
No.
in 2015, come on.
Yeah.
Top of the heap
A little
stuff.
baby.
Top of the heat. I love it. So come back every Tuesday.
That's right.
Bry's going to be here. We're going to be heading back in the old Hallmark time machine for a little Christmas in July fun. Really excited about that. Also, very, very excited about Bramblefest. It's coming up, not this coming weekend, but the following. And we would love for you to join us virtually. Those tickets are still available at deckthehallmark.com/fest. It's going to be, what I'm gathering,
Yeah.
a real good time.
Real good time.
That's
Dude.
just what I'm hearing.
Kids in the spotlight have a problem with that?
Ears to the ground.
We got some fun special guests.
Yes.
The Girls Gone Hallmark are going to be
Plural.
there.
Sure, for their first Bramblefest
that'll be fun.
experience.
First Bramblefest, that's exactly right.
And the big return of some shows that we haven't done in a long
Big
time.
return of some shows we haven't done in a long
That's a
time.
promise.
That is a tease that we've not given yet. That's right.
Sometimes it's like a
We're
little
doing
tease.
10 back to Bayside.
Do you have
It's
those
crazy.
words
It's-
approved by legal?
We're doing all. It's actually all. Everyone's doing a back to Bayside episode.
It's today's.
Oh, I get one?
You get one. Yeah, we're doing today's big thing.
Today's
all,
big thing.
all Friday evening.
Yes,
That's right. Yes.
Today's big thing. Let's talk Christmas
Hallmark
Incorporated.
Book Club.
Oh, man.
It's going to be the Bramble Jam.
Yeah.
Imagineering
In the bubble?
education. Imagineering education is getting a 3-hour block.
Good.
Yes.
As it
Don't
should.
ask me how it's all happening, but it's all happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Time doesn't matter.
That's right.
It's just gonna be Tom Riddle up there with his lightsaber.
That's
Just
right.
being
Our
like,
Dad's Diary probably is a midnight show, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a
Yeah.
late night show.
Yeah. Featuring Brian Harrell.
it's a
He's gonna be on
lock-in.
there.
And as far as I can tell,
He's even memorized his kids' names to do the show. Our Dad's Diary.
Big reveal coming.
That's right.
everybody that we have hired to do a job
Is going to do it.
it.
It's going to be crazy out there.
Christmas Incorporated is what we're talking about today, the 2015 classic. Are you ready to dive in?
Sure
Let's do
are.
it.
Originally aired on the Hallmark Channel November 15th, 2015, and it went a little something like this. Riley's looking for a job, and despite having plenty of experiences,
O'Reilly.
get a job.
Get a job is good.
Despite having plenty of experience doing things. She
Trying
keeps
to be subtle.
she keeps getting turned down. No job for her because she like does a big thing. I guess people are looking for these days is that they want you to have a job currently.
Yeah.
And so she's down to only $89 in her bank account, and she overhears a woman talking about William Young, old Billy Young,
Billy.
a hotshot executive who is in need of a new assistant because he keeps.
Finally.tv/DTH. You're getting a production show right now.
Hotshot executive who is in need of a new assistant. He keeps firing his assistants. So she's going to march down there and get a job. While waiting for her interview, she fixes the lobby Christmas tree topper, she makes a wish, which impresses the woman who is doing the interviews. She gets the job, mainly because they think that she's a different Riley with an impressive resume, Ivy League. She's immediately poured into a boardroom where she...
Poured into a boardroom?
Pulled in.
Oh, I think you said poured into.
Could have.
They just poured her right in here.
honestly.
Doesn't matter to me.
Gloop, 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 gloop.
Doesn't matter to me one way or the other. And she butts into this conversation about closing down a factory, and it's like, you can't close down a factory, which is impressive to William Young. William decides he's going to go check out this factory himself and decide what to do with this factory, but William likes to drive, so Riley flies out early to get a lay of the land. She finds out that the town is going to go all out to help make William feel at home and hopefully save the factory. But it gets off to a rocky start when apparently the one cop in town does not get that memo, pulls over William. He doesn't have his license, so he is brought to jail until he can prove his identity. She goes to get him out of jail and brings him to where they're staying, and he's mad that she's decorated it for Christmas. He's like, I fired people for less than this, but I'm not going to fire you. Merry Christmas. They go to check out the factory, and yes, it is indeed struggling. They have tried everything to save this factory. Things that I don't even think are in their purview, but it doesn't matter. They're going to need to figure out something to save it, and Riley actually comes up with an idea. We pivot away from Jeffrey the bear, and we make Jeffrey the bear a wishing bear.
It's a wishing bear.
Never
It's a
been done
wishing
before.
Bear. It's never been done. It could be just a thing to save the factory, but they're going to have to move fast. William's into this idea, but she overhears him on the phone talking about how it's basically a sure thing that they're going to shut down this factory. Santa is there, and he gives Riley a pep talk. And then Santa is also somewhere else and gives William a pep talk. And that's nice. Is it possible that this Santa is magic? I don't know. They end up going ice skating together, not Santa but
Santa
William,
does, yeah.
William and Riley. Santa does an ice skate. As far as I know, I don't know.
Does a pirouette.
And they get to know each other more, and the sparks are flying. It's wonderful. What could go wrong? Well, I'll tell you what could go wrong. There is a journalist who is trying to take him down. She is the villain in this movie, and we don't like her. She's spying and snapping pictures of him doing things that people do, such as ice skating and eating food, and then writing salacious headlines, like just skating by. Stuff like that. But nothing can get them down, those two lovebirds. They're having a great time. The bears are selling, and he's starting to feel like he's at home there in this small town. His family has a lot of history there, and he feels good. And then the sales suddenly hit a brick wall. I don't know why, but they do. They were selling, and now they're not. And so they go down to the factory, and the reporter is there, and she outs Riley for being like not who she says she is. And William is upset by this. I told you things I've never told anybody before. I can't even trust you anymore. So she goes home and has a conversation with her parents, and then he has a conversation with the mayor, who I would go to,
Of course.
for advice. And he realizes that maybe, it might be worth trying to fix things with Riley. Big picture stuff, you know what I mean? So he goes to her house, and they make up, and then he tells her that someone bought all of the factory's inventory and is going to keep the factory open through the new year, and then they can go from there. And then he tells Riley that he wants to help her fund her own consulting company because she's so good at it. Then they're in a truck, and it breaks down. Then it's fixed, and then the movie's over. They kiss, and that, my friends, was Christmas Incorporated.
We did it.
Let's take a break.
Yeah.
We'll come back. We'll break this movie down with 4 segments here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Feels right. Feels right.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, Brandon.
Yeah.
How are we?
I was just gonna say, Brandon, that we're now officially in year 8 of this
Yeah.
podcast, and it just feels great to do it. But then I heard that voice, and I was like, maybe we should shut it down.
Maybe not.
Well, don't let that
Maybe we
sway
should
you.
shut it down.
Don't let that sway you.
Hard not to.
All right.
Let's talk about Christmas Incorporated, the Steve Lund vehicle from
Steve Lund.
2015. Dan, who's the lead actress in this movie?
Sinead Grimes Beach.
She was
Yeah.
new to you.
She was new to me in this movie.
Yeah, we were watching the movie and Dan's like, I don't know who she is.
I
And
was like,
and
who's
Aaron,
this?
And Aaron was like, you do know who she is.
It turns out she acts
she's
in
in a lot.
Hallmark's worst Christmas movies. That's her thing.
Christmas Incorporated is what we're talking about today. Let's
Pretty
start
cool
with
thing.
the hot take
Yeah.
is where we share exactly how we felt
I
about this
consider
movie. We do
myself a
not
specialist.
we do not hold back. I'll start with you, Brian.
Yeah. I thought this was pretty good. It was okay.
Pretty good.
Not zany like I like them. You know, it wasn't like intentionally wacky and wild. Some fun to be had. I don't think they knew that what they were doing. I think they were. It was not conscious. I think they were not aware of what they were doing with some stuff. There were some things here. It was kind of nice to revisit that you don't really get anymore because
Oh, you don't.
they're a little.
No, it's
they've
a
been
different
done.
time.
Yeah,
Different time.
That the overzealous mayor, who's just the source of all the wisdom and just his hands in everything. It's not as aggressive anymore, I would say,
No.
in that sense. We don't get that as much. The business, having 10 days to figure out everything, like they were really pushing it back then. Like we still get the calendar thing where we're real close on dates and we still complain about that. But
Yeah.
this was where, they were still doing it. They've been doing it forever. So a staple. The supporting person playing every role in town, just everywhere. Just they're everywhere. And the snow was just awesome. The snow blankets were great.
Awesome?
Awesome
were
in the sense that like McGarry's Boston accent, awesome.
Yeah. Same
Just
kind of awesome.
so egregious.
I got
It
you.
was
I got
great.
you. Yeah.
So many wait whats, so many questions, and I feel like the thing with this though, there were ideas in this that I did like that they like didn't follow. Like the mayor and his wife, great story. Where's his wife? Like that would have been cool to get more of that weaved in. Like
You wouldn't get it, Brian.
I guess not.
They're trying to make a bad movie here.
The caravan. They talked about it a couple times. Very cool idea. Terrible execution. Like just did
Real
not
bad.
Deliver.
Unless it's supposed to be a van with all people named Carol. Then maybe.
They didn't specify that.
They didn't specify.
Maybe, so I didn't
Yeah,
understand.
maybe that's on you.
Specifics, yeah.
Huge disappointment. Though they did nail the demographics of Dover, New Hampshire.
Dover.
Very white. So that was right on. That seems like they made an effort on that to nail that.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that, this Hallmark would have been so
I was about
diverse.
to say, coincidentally,
This movie would
also
have
the
just-
demographics of 2015 Hallmark.
Yeah.
So it worked out well for them.
Yeah. So it I thought some stuff there. There's some stuff there. Just I want things a little more zany, wacky, wild, intentionally like
Good.
in your face. Maybe a little good. I like to think I would have fixed the tree topper too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to think.
Someone
You
would
like
have
to-
noticed.
You like to think so.
Someone would have noticed.
I know.
Yeah. It's easy now. You don't know what you would have done then.
That's
That's
true.
true. That's
You know
true.
what I mean?
I was a little more
What you would have
spineless.
done then is what you're doing now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So
I
we
know
don't.
exactly what you mean.
How many tree toppers
But
have you fixed?
what you're doing now doesn't necessarily dictate what you would have done then. That's what you're
right.
getting at.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't think
I don't know who
what
I was,
you did,
yeah.
what you would do then is what you would do now. But what you would do now doesn't necessarily
True.
look like what you would do then.
That's true.
Mm,
Thank you
if I
for
agree.
clarifying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, crystal clear.
You know what I mean, Dan?
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Man, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. It's a safe space.
Brand loves white people.
I love all people first of all, but
Brand thinks all lives matter. Got it.
specifically, I love
You don't see
2015.
color.
Specifically, I love 2015 Hallmark
Yeah.
movies. Wonderful. It's so nice. It's so nice to just be able to just turn it on and just be like, I know in my heart of hearts that this isn't very good. And there is not a single part of me that could care less. That's how little I care about it because it's so wonderful. It makes me feel so good. It is funny. It is sweet. It is nice to look at.
Is it?
The points don't matter.
don't
And
matter.
I live for it. I live for 2015 Hallmark. And it's just, we get these a few times a year. We get to go back in time in the time machine and enjoy this. And it's just always so nice. Yeah, please. Let's do this.
Vote for Brad.
Let's do this. We can do it.
If you elect me,
If we work together, we can do it.
Make movies bad, just a skosh worse again, right? Like Hallmark makes better movies now, and I'm not sure that we're better for it. Dan,
we are 100% better for it because this movie is terrible. Now they were simpler times. They were.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just had Bill Abbott in there watching the dailies of every movie, jamming as many white people in a movie as he could. Does it matter that they say the plot of the movie over and over again or say the same things to remind you what a character is going through over and over again? No. Does it matter that you could just peel the snow up if you wanted to? No, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters here is that we just vomit Christmas everywhere and the two leads make eye contact. And here's the thing is both of those things happened. Mm-hmm. Steve Lund, Sinead Grimes-Beach, both are doing great work here. The rest of this movie, hysterical. I don't even, this was so commonplace in 2015. It feels even more foreign now. Like we've been doing this show since 2018. This was the norm. I don't know how I watch 40 of these movies a year. Like now with Hallmark, it's like there's going to be 6 or 7 thumbs up from me a year. It used to be maybe I could find half of a decent one. Mm-hmm. The worst Hallmark movies are acquired now. The ones that they make in-house are all miles better than this. This is the standard now for like Roku movies. Hallmark has always been the standard bearer. 10 years ago, this was the standard. Now, Hallmark would never air this because this movie sucks. It's really, really bad. They don't have what it takes, the requisite things needed to make a movie, and they made one. And we used to suffer through half 100 of these a year. Like, it made me so thankful to not be like, we now have covered good Hallmark more than bad Hallmark. I would say good Hallmark kind of started creeping in 21. Yeah. Yeah. So we covered 18, 19, 20. Bad Hallmark, we covered 21, 22, 23, 24. Good Hallmark, we are more accustomed to good Hallmark than bad Hallmark, and I've never been more thankful. I've never been more thankful than I am watching one of these turds. So we did it. We did it. Good job, everybody.
Great job.
Yeah.
Did he like the movie? I'm foggy on.
Yeah,
I hated
think
the
you have
movie.
to assume that he did. Oh.
I think it
was a bad movie.
Unclear.
seemed like a good review.
Steve Lund, though.
It was a confusing review.
It wasn't confusing in the slightest. I
It
started
seemed
with
like
it's terrible. I
undec-
ended with it sucks, and I'm thankful
undecided.
that new Hallmark exists.
But in there, it's a lot of positive speak.
I don't think so. Where's the positive? Just Sinead Grimes-Beach and Steve Holt?
You said a lot of good things.
Steve Lund?
You said
Well,
a lot
I
of good
did it.
things. I don't know if it was about this movie, but you said a lot of good
That's
things.
true. That's true. I
So-
did compliment Hallmark in this movie.
And I stopped listening.
Yeah.
halfway.
You heard the words
I
you
heard
wanted.
the good
You
stuff.
could, if you really worked at editing for about a half an hour, you could piece together a good hot take in there.
Yes.
I think that's what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm
Now,
saying.
nobody's going to do that, but you could.
Nobody, huh?
Don't.
Nobody.
Why do you? Why do you
Nobody's going
say?
to do it.
Why do you say dumb
It's a
stuff?
challenge.
Interesting.
Let's get to all of the feels. That's where we talk about what in this movie gave us feel. Let's start with you, Bra Guy.
I did agree with the chemistry between Steve Lund and Sinead Grimes-Beach.
Yes.
Thought it was very good. But mostly I walked away with ice rink feels.
Yeah.
Great skating scene.
Yeah.
Steve Lund out there we know he played
We
hockey. And he shows it. It
Yeah,
shows. He's
yeah.
cruising around, having a good old time on the rink. Back when they could.
Back when they could.
You
yeah.
could, before they realized maybe we shouldn't
Yeah.
do that, just in case. So ice rink feels.
Ice rink feels.
Yeah, the ice skating
It's
rink.
the best scene in the movie.
It's a great scene in this movie, and I agree with you as well, Bry Guy. Great mayor in this movie. A meddling mayor. What do you guys think about this one? A mayor whose last name is Mayor.
We've
What do
done
you guys
this
think about
before.
this?
Mayor.
Spelled the
What do you guys think about that?
Mayor.
I think it should be done.
I think it should be done.
Someone needs to
Spelled
do
the
it.
same or probably
No,
different?
like John
Yeah.
Mayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan?
Like his cousin?
I also think that there's like a good meddling
Someone
mayor
should
is
write it in a
great.
book. Someone
Someone
should put it in like a book.
Like a
or
real book?
Like a real book. Where the mayor's name is Mayor.
Mayor,
Do you
mayor,
think
mayor,
people would
mayor.
get it?
I don't know if
You think
people
people
would
get
I
it?
think people would. I think people would get it better seeing it. That's why I said
Oh, it needs to be
writing
a
a
book.
book.
Yeah.
In a
Because
book.
a movie, it might get lost.
Lost in the shuffle.
Mayor, mayor's a fun idea.
But in a book, you'd see it and
That's
you would
right.
know right away.
After I do the edit to Dan, the hot take edit,
Yeah?
maybe
Yeah,
I'll work
yeah.
on
You'll
that.
write a
Yeah,
book?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan.
Anyway,
Sorry. The previous mayor was Nays, Mayor Nays. I don't know why I thought that'd be funny. Just because.
the Nays got
Write
it.
that down too.
The
The
Nays
Nays
got it.
got
Mayor
it.
Nays.
That's his saying.
That's what they say. That's 11 o'clock
Everybody
news.
reverse vote.
The Nays
Vote
got
nay
it.
for yay. Mayor Nays.
It's the Nays family. The Nays family's got it.
Mayor.
The easiest way to
Mayor
say it
Nays.
is the Nays got it.
The Nays,
The Nays got it.
The Nays got it.
The Nays got it.
Because more people voted yay. The Nays got it.
This
Makes a lot
just in. The Nays got it. We have ourselves a new mayor.
Listen, there are good meddling mayors in Hallmark. I think specifically of the dastardly one in the Evergreen series is hysterical. This is not a good. I know I've got feels to do. I just hard disagree with you guys on how good this mayor is. He's terrible. The skating rink. I thought Steve Lund was giving his actual life story when he's like, I used to almost play pro. And then I thought he was going to be like, then I got in an accident or I got concussions, but instead he went with something else. I don't remember. Something he said, he just was take over the family business. That's the one. But that scene's great. He's skating backwards, eye contact, the whole bit. So it's good stuff. It's good. Like it's a really good scene in a sea of really bad scenes. So there you go.
I think he liked it.
That's what I'm picking up.
Throw good stuff into that edit when you do it.
He's easing into it.
I mean, he's
He's warming up for sure.
dipping my toe into this movie
that's
doesn't
right.
suck out loud.
Whoa, we're getting there.
Hey, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll get to the way one, the what, the Hallmark here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Deck the Hallmark.
Hey,
We're back. We're talking Christmas Incorporated today on our Hallmark Christmas Time Machine episodes here every Tuesday in July.
Nays got it.
And the Nays got it. And that's the good news. It's time for the way what. It's where we talk about what this movie made us go way what. I'll start with you, Bri.
Yeah, so many to be had.
Yeah.
The motorcycle one.
That is, before you get started, that
Yeah.
is the one thing I will grant you, Bran. It's easier to come up with wait what's in
That's
the
right.
old
For
in
the
old
old ones?
Hallmark.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness,
Oh,
pages.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Actually, it is. I didn't realize that how many I have compared to normal
Yeah.
movies now.
To normal movies. You even
Normies,
said it.
yeah. Wow. The motorcycle when it's cold out, it's just you
Yeah,
don't.
that's a tough
see
spot
it.
there.
I remember a winter in Mass when it was like we had a stretch of 60-degree days, and you would see motorcycles. But other than that, if there's a chance of ice, like if there's a chance,
can't
it's
get
going to
out
be
there.
slick.
Yeah.
No, you're not going to ride your motorcycle. And he was just cruising everywhere on that thing. The executive assistant, Miss Sage, walked the candidate at that time into almost a board meeting. Like
Yes,
just they were
yes.
discussing big business stuff,
Big
like
business
closing a
stuff.
factory, and
Yeah.
just they came in and just kind of stood there and listened on for a moment, crying out loud. Like there's nothing sacred. You can't walk into
There's
a
got to
big.
be some confidentiality
Oh,
there.
there's got to be.
Yeah.
So you have to hire her at that point.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the point.
Maybe that was the point. You get it.
So yeah, and when Miss Sage called for Riley V, there was a Riley V somewhere that they mixed up the names, but nobody even flinched. Like,
Nobody.
So Riley V wasn't
They
even
mixed
there.
up the names with whom?
Yeah, where's Riley V? Like
Riley V
let's-
just was like, I don't need this.
I guess not. Let's-
Ivy League education. I'm out of here.
It's a good what, the Hallmark.
Oh no. Yeah, that's true. Where's Riley
Well,
V?
the fact that where is Riley V would be what the Hallmark version
Right.
of this. Yes.
uh,
Yours was wait what though.
Yeah. I think maybe I
Don't
stepped
let
on
him.
somebody's.
Don't let him like bully you.
That's not what I was
Don't
trying
let
to do. at
Bran
all.
bully you.
I was just saying.
Don't
it's
let
a
bully
good-
Bran get loose.
It's a good what, the Hallmark.
Thank you.
Where is she?
They reference it.
They reference where she is.
So I must have been busy writing down a wait what.
Yeah.
By reference, do you mean that they tell us where she is?
They don't tell us where she is, but they talk about it. They're like, well, the interviews went on so long, we assume she left.
Oh, okay.
People got
Yeah.
tired of
Oh
it.
sure.
So it's just a line to cover their bases, basically. Yeah.
Oh,
But they
that's
thought
smart.
of
Yeah,
They thought-
I guess they did. So that's silly for me.
Yeah, that was
man.
dumb. Who would've
Man,
done that
that's
as a way to write?
embarrassing.
So
Wow,
stupid.
that was not even a good what the Hallmark.
Man.
The mayor
It's
just
bad with the
kicking people out of their house.
The mayor is actively
Tough.
evicting homeowners.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like an Airbnb or it didn't even seem like a rental home. It was
No.
like, this is your home. This is a nice home.
It's your home.
Get out. We're gonna use this home. And so they had that really nice scene where they're having dinner. He made dinner. They're drinking wine, and all I kept thinking was, "That's not."
This is someone
someone's
else's
kicked
home. Probably
out of-
someone else's wine.
Yeah. All-
They're probably robbing them blind there.
Their wine, all their dishes.
What in the world is going on in
So-
this town where you can do this?
Sometimes you got to wine and dine to rob someone blind.
Ah, nicely done.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Renee's
Nice.
got it.
That should be the Bramblefest T-shirt.
Yeah.
So that was just. It was
All
tough
right,
to
throw
get.
them
throw
out.
all
We'll
those
do
out.
it. We'll go back to the
That's right.
printers. Stop the
Got
printers.
Stop them.
Boxes of shirts in there.
Yeah,
Forget
Aaron's
it.
actively throwing stuff in the trash.
There was a scene. I have
Stop
two
the
more
printers.
here. Stop them printers. Everyone on the factory floor is wearing a hard hat.
Oh, yeah.
Except Emily Lamb, the youngest employee who became the Secret Santa. She had on a tiny little Santa's elf hat.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone in a hard hat.
Yeah.
Well, and when they're
Them.
giving them a tour as well, they're not wearing.
No.
The lack of consistency with the hard hat rule is crazy.
Which was weird because they went hard on having people in hard hats.
They went
and
hard on the hats.
They sure did, and it was visible.
But
Except-
also, I'm not entirely convinced that this factory needs hard hats.
I don't-
with the work that they're doing. Like
Yeah.
someone's painting something like a little.
they're using
trinket.
like a screw gun for
Like I'm
drilling
not
some wood.
convinced that this
Yeah.
is a
It's
hard
not a
hat.
hard hat facility.
No.
But
No way.
it's either all or none.
Sort of, yeah.
So they
true.
should have you guys have been in a place where the hard hats it's like before you walk in, it's like, hey, you got to put this
Yeah, you
on. Like,
get a
even
vest,
if you're
you get
not
a-
doing
yeah,
the
absolutely.
job.
Never
just be
know.
walking. It's all or nothing.
That's right.
OSHA.
Yeah,
Isn't that what OSHA
Come on,
does?
OSHA.
Yeah.
Is it?
absolutely.
One of them.
Yeah, job site protections. And she's in Dover, New Hampshire
Dover.
for this factory.
Yeah.
Her parents are in Exeter. How far do you guys think those towns are from each other in New Hampshire? Exeter is in New Hampshire.
An hour.
35-minute drive.
35 minutes?
Her
Oh
par-
my
She
God.
doesn't visit her parents. Her parents don't
You
visit
should
her.
be going there every night to spend the night.
Stay with your parents. It's
35
35-minute
minutes.
drive.
In New England, 35 minutes, I learned this,
Yeah.
is nothing.
No.
It's actually 5 minutes away.
They're right there.
In
You're right
here
there.
in South Carolina, I wouldn't do that. But in New England, you guys, you would
Everything,
drive to
yeah.
work for an hour.
Oh, yeah, an
Like
hour drive to work. Absolutely.
Here, it's like my new commute is 10 minutes, and I'm pissed. But like, I get it. In New Hampshire, that's nothing. That's a definite free place to stay.
Nays wouldn't allow that.
Yeah.
Mayor Nays. But I couldn't believe when they
God.
said, I'm going to Exeter to my parents' house. I'm like, why haven't you been doing that the whole movie? Where have they, they're right there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that was a good one. That
That
was
was
it
on
for
the
me.
other side of Exeter.
That could be it. West side of Exeter.
When she's in the lobby waiting for her interviews, she's using a timer on her phone to
Oh my God, this is
see how
embarrassing.
long the interviews are going for. And the timer, it's like on a black screen and it's just a timer, but the timer itself is like moving around the screen. Like, because they did it in post, and it's just like, and she's like,
Oh my God. It's so tough.
tough.
It's tough.
Just don't show the timer.
Yeah.
Just don't show it.
Yeah.
If you can't do it, don't show it. If you can't do it, don't do it. That's
Can't
what
do it,
that's
don't
what I
show
always
it.
say.
Wine them and dine them to.
When she gets to town and what is Piper picks
Piper,
her up,
yeah,
and
Piper.
Piper is like, this town's great, you know. And like one of the things I always tell people is like, if you
I wrote
meet
this down,
someone and
too.
you don't know them, just like introduce it.
The
tell them.
general rule.
Yeah,
The
general rules. If you
yeah.
don't know somebody, introduce yourself. And it's like, is that only for
Is that-
this town?
That's
That's
a
it.
town
This
special.
is a town
So it's
exclusive
a Dover
rule.
thing, man. You wouldn't get it.
wouldn't
Yeah,
get it.
here in Greenville, if you don't know somebody,
Hands
keep
up.
your distance. But in Dover, just introduce yourself, and then you'll know each other.
Man, we really should adopt that nationwide.
Yeah, you would think so. I think it would make us all
General
better if we
rule?
would just general.
That's nice of them,
I love also that they bring up Carol Van, and then they're like, "What's Carol Van?" It's like it's hard to explain, and it's like, is it?
yeah. Is it?
Like how
Are we ever thinking it?
It does feel like it should just be what it says it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like caroling in a van or a van full of only carols.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it seems like it probably has to be. How hard could it be to explain Carol Van? So yeah, we carol, but then also we're spies on the side.
right.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah,
and
it's a whole
that's
thing. You wouldn't get it.
Yeah, and you have to go through a lot of training. They did it like they definitely mixed up the order of a couple of scenes.
Yes.
in this
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
So when
Yes.
she gets there, she walks out of the airport and she's like, he's coming in a couple days. He likes to drive. The next scene, he's like, hey, I think I'm gonna. He's talking to who is that?
Yeah. Miss.
Yes, in the
Amanda.
office.
You get it.
And is like, I think
Sage.
I'm gonna ride this time. And she says, okay, I'll call Riley and tell her.
Oh,
Like that happens after she already has told somebody that he likes
That's
to drive and is so that's you love to see it. That's fun. In one of the funnier things I've seen in a while, the mom is on the phone with her and she's getting ready to ice cookies. She's got the squeeze.
Oh,
thing.
this is
Yeah.
wild.
So she has like 6 cookies already done, and they are like pristine, like they're snowflakes. They're beautiful, and she takes this little
And what
squishy-
she's doing to the other cookies
Yeah.
is ungodly.
It's just like, like I could have done better. I see these cookies,
Yeah.
and it's like no way the person doing that made those cookies. It's just not possible because those are competition level. What she's doing is, I believe, against the law. And last but not least, in old Hallmark, we get one kiss, and it's at the end of this movie.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
at the end of the movie, and you know it's coming, and you're waiting for it all movie. And in this case, all of that leads up to a kiss that we can't see because of Steve Lund's shoulder.
That's true.
Did no one tell Steve to lower his shoulder? Did no camera operator go, hey, let's bump this up a little bit so we can actually
maybe
see the kiss?
They didn't get another take.
It's the whole ball game.
Yep.
Whole ball game's kiss. I don't even know if they did or not. I saw them move towards each other as if they kissed, but as far as I'm concerned, they could just be whispering sweet nothings. I don't know because I can't see the lips.
My
Dan?
that was a weird way
Yeah.
to say that.
yeah.
I just don't.
He
I don't
loves
even,
to
I don't
see
even want
lips.
Lee. I don't even want Lee to cut it.
He loves
Um,
those lips.
Can't see them.
Show
my,
me them lips.
My feels was almost watching Bran watch this scene. I got it. It's a bad movie. It didn't surprise. Bran was like furious.
We have one thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
We
correct.
have one thing that we know we're getting, you know?
Yeah. My favorite thing about old Hallmark is there's always like 10 solid wait whats in the first 30 seconds of every movie. Whenever they try to establish the movie, this one features a scene where Shanae Grimes Beach is talking to a woman who says, we're only hiring folks that currently have a job. We only hire first string top performers around here, and they always have a job. None of that makes any sense. A lot of first string top performers quit their jobs to work for themselves. It's a weird process to only hire people that currently have a job. You're really making the pond pretty small to try to make your company better.
Also, like overcomplicates things. Like they
yeah.
have to put in their 2 weeks notice, so you got at least 2
That's
weeks
right.
Yeah.
before that person even starts their job.
It's crazy. We have a mayor who does evict people from their homes to make
A nice
a nice house for Steve Lund. We also have maybe the most egregious misuse of law enforcement I've seen in one of these movies, and that's saying something. Steve Lund gets into town on his hog on his motorcycle.
That's right.
He removes his helmet, hair flawless, by the way. He's been in a helmet all day.
4
Hair
hours.
still has plenty of volume. He's out here crushing it. The police officer says he needs his license. Steve Lund says, appears I've forgotten it. And then this police officer says, well, it's the law that I've now got to take you to jail.
Yep.
That's it.
It is not the law. In fact, that's called police brutality. You cannot take someone to jail for not having their driver's license. Can you write them a ticket? You sure can. Unless what they're driving has been reported stolen, you can't do that. That's not the law. You forgot the piece of plastic that shows who you are. Get in the paddy wagon. What are you doing? That wasn't okay in 2015. It wasn't okay in 2005. It's never been okay. Hallmark, what are you doing? What is happening here? You can't just say, you don't have a license? Well, stiff penalty. It's called jail. It's jail time.
Oh, I thought that was pretty accurate.
You thought it was pretty accurate?
I would just
Does
assume,
that happen to you a
I
bunch?
just assume if you don't have your license, you right to jail.
Brian actually wrote down, seems like a fair and just system. That's what Brian wrote down.
It works for everyone.
It works for everyone.
It seems to work for everyone.
That is what's clear.
Yeah.
When touring the toy factory, among the many hard hat problems, we also hear from the boss that they've been, and I want to quote this, trying to break into the online space. Don't they make toys for other companies? They don't make toys and sell them themselves.
I think they do.
They make toys and sell them themselves?
No, the factory itself makes toys for his company.
His company.
Right?
The factory doesn't make toys and sell them themselves. Right? They make toys and sell them to Steve Lund's company.
I think it was his toy company's factory specifically.
Okay, so his massive company with a high rise in New York City hasn't broken into the online space yet.
But Dan's point is still good. It's not the factory's job to break into the online space.
It's the factory is saying
like the
they
factory foreperson should not be the one who's being like, how do we get into Amazon?
What in the world is happening? They're not responsible for that. And if
she's just taking meetings without we got to do something about this.
Yeah. And then we see Sinead Grimes Beach hold up a toy and go, oh, I had one of these when I was a kid. I loved it until the batteries died. Does she just throw out toys when the batteries die? Like, I don't know if you know, but batteries are downright replaceable. Like, believe it or not, you can keep that toy rolling with just a fresh set. I was very confused by that. I also want to be clear that 2 weeks before Christmas, Sinead Grimes Beach believes that telling the town that turning their bear into a Christmas wish bear is how they're going to save the factory, and she thought that would go over well. So 2 weeks before, at the tree lighting, they're like, well, what about the factory? And she's like, we got an idea. Hear me out. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. Wish bear.
Say no more.
And then they're mad, and she's like, man, I really thought that was going to be a hit. I thought that was going to be a classic. I think
they're also underestimating how much the town loves Jeffrey the Bear.
That's right.
Like Jeffrey's a staple.
It's a staple.
Staple.
This small town reporter is a Bond villain. She says at one point that Steve Lund is her ticket to the big time, and that her last piece blew up in print, which I just no, it didn't. No, it didn't, ma'am. It didn't. I'm here to tell you, it did not. You've been given bad information. You still are a small town print writer.
But it blew up.
It didn't.
It sold so many papers.
100% didn't. My favorite wait what maybe of that year is 2 adults over the age of 30. One is explaining Secret Santa to the other one. It's an all-timer. It's an all-timer. You've lived 30 plus years of your life admitting that your grandmother loved Christmas, raised you, and did all the Christmas traditions, and you've never heard of the concept of Secret Santa. It's a new one. It's a new one, Gail. Could you explain it, please? Diane, could you run me through Secret Santa real quick? I do what now? I draw a name out of this here hat. Now I'm fuzzy. What happens next? Get out of here, people. What are you doing? Gosh darn it.
Whoa.
Man.
Whoa.
Steve Lund decides he's in the Christmas spirit, so he's going to he wants Sinead Grimes Beach to help him decorate the house of the evicted couple. And so they go back and they do it. And they've got...
I think they took down some walls, too.
They've got a lot of room. And with that room, they decide...
do whatever we want.
The Nays got it.
The Nays got it.
They decide, what if we put 2 trees right next to each other in a walkway?
Yeah.
They have 2 trees, and they have moved them to block egress. I don't know how else to describe that. They have an entire house. There's a corner in the dining room, not a Christmas display in it. There's so much room in this house where 2 people have been evicted, and they get 2 trees and they put them right next to each other to block a central walkway. If there's a fire, they're effed. They don't have a chance. It is a problem because they put these 2 trees right next to each other. I've got more, but I'm actually going to stop there.
It's time for What the Hallmark. It's time for us to talk about things that we are still wondering about. Maybe a sequel would have covered it, but I don't think we're getting one. I don't think we're getting one. Brian.
Yeah. I was really confused on whether she is starting her own consultancy or going back to the company. Because he says to her, you're going to start your own consultancy and do what you're meant to do. And then he says, you're coming back to work for me. What is she doing?
She can date the boss. Yikes.
Right. You're staying right here with me.
What the hallmark is that what happened here that isn't a severe HR violation. Even in 2015, I think you'd probably be like, I don't think so. But then he does say that earlier. But then
he's hiring
but
her
then
as
he
a consultant.
says the sentence,
Okay.
I want you to come back and work for me.
He does.
Yes, he said he's creating a vision.
But that's not a consultancy.
So that's still working for him.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't confused on how she was working for him. I was confused that he said, you're going to come back and work for me. So,
Brian was
yeah.
Mayor Nay's going to straighten it all out.
Yeah.
Nay's got it.
100%. 100%. Yeah, listen, I just want to know, like, did the people who got evicted, did they get a say in this thing? You know, like, did they are they is it a part of hey, maybe at the town meeting where they're like, hey, we would really like to make him feel like he's at home. So would anybody be willing to did any surely there was something, right? There was some sort of volunteer process, right? Like, did they volunteer?
I'd like to think so.
Right?
It doesn't seem that
It doesn't
way.
seem
Right?
It seemed like they were ushered out of their
They
home.
volunteered though, right? Like maybe they didn't know the exact time, but they volunteered for it, right?
This
don't
town,
think
you
so.
guys want these. This town is everything. Like, if somebody tells you who they are, believe them. Like, this town is taking people to jail for not having their driver's license and evicting people from their homes when someone more important comes in. That is the small town vibe that we're giving off here.
Come on, Dover.
Come on, Dover.
But
be
they
better.
but they volunteered though, right?
They didn't.
They didn't volunteer for that.
Nah.
I don't think.
Did we do it?
We did it.
This is Bonnie actually brings up a good point. Bonnie says I wasn't paying attention earlier. Did we get a Benny cameo since this movie is from 2015?
It's been in 2015.
I thought he was 16.
I thought he was 2016.
I
And
don't
I know
know.
Rippy was 2014. 15 just hangs out there. But you know what? Listen.
We'll reach
make up
out.
for
We
it.
have
We'll
another
reach out.
2015 movie coming out later this month.
Okay,
And so
great.
maybe Benny will get the word then. It's time for Double Decker of the Week. It's where we dive deep into the life of a double decker who's signed up for Bramble Jam Plus. At
It's the best place on the internet. You just go do it.
BrambleJamPlus.com. You get ad-free shows, but you also get the Facebook community. You also get all sorts of other fun goodies. And so come and join us. It's a lot of fun. Dan, who do we have today?
We have Cynthia Smith.
Finally.
Cynthia.
Yeah.
Pride of Kansas
Cynthia.
City, I believe.
I think you're right. Cynthia. Cynthia, on the heels of Independence Day.
Yes.
Cynthia trying to launch a.
I didn't even ask you guys at all about your
You
4th
did
of
not.
July.
You did not.
You know what's wild?
There was
is
a lot of
that
talk, but hey,
I made a brisket.
Yeah,
we
we've
talked
been
about
waiting
it.
to
I
hear.
made one. I shot it all on video. My kids helped. It was great. Maybe you'll see it one day.
How much did you film?
I filmed pretty much every step
Really?
of the process.
All 20 hours.
Wow.
It was a 14-hour smoke and
All
then
14 hours. You
5
get it.
hour
You put a-
5 hour rest. So
You
19.
put a GoPro in it.
There you go.
19.
In the
Yeah, I did.
smoker.
And we didn't slow it down at all. It's a real Yule log
It is a
situation.
Yule
You
log.
see
It's really cool.
you just see it.
You guys are
You're
gonna
gonna
love
play
it.
it during
Smoking.
Bramble
It's
Fest
gonna
in
be
the
amazing.
background?
It's going to be amazing. In a
Yeah, you guys-
marathon. We're going to save for the marathon.
Hey, that's a
gonna love it.
great idea.
That's right.
The marathon this year is just inside of Dan's smoker.
19 hours. It's pretty. We barely have to work.
Yeah.
If we just have that thing going.
We could comment on the brisket. Starting to get some bark.
Yeah. That's really good.
We need like a tracker progress at the bottom.
That's
like
right.
it moves like a millimeter. Anyway, Cynthia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So
My force was great.
Cynthia, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dan. Mine too.
Yeah.
Cynthia trying to launch a virtual historical exhibit, like a full sensory
virtual
experience about a time in history, and she's shopping it to museums.
Okay.
About a little known fact that occurred, almost ruined the drafting of the U.S. Constitution.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm surprised not more people have heard of this. It nearly fell apart due to the excessive flatulence of the delegates.
Oh my God. It's a fart joke.
Okay.
Their diet was not great.
No.
They were
Ben
locked.
Franklin's drinking whiskey out of a punch bowl at 10 in the morning.
The meat.
Continental Congress.
You know, just potatoes.
The
Just
what?
potatoes. Meat
Potatoes?
and potatoes.
Okay. Got it. Potatoes. Got it.
It's a
Potatoes.
northern accent there. Just locked in that room. So it got so bad. I mean, James Madison walked out several times. There was a lot. It was sort of an aggressive vibe against the people who had a little stomach issues. Very like severe embarrassment, and it almost fell apart. Everybody was kind of like ready to walk out.
Okay.
And
Come on.
so they calling this time period. It was called it's a constant toot shun. Nearly ruined the whole process.
The constant toottion.
Constant toot shun.
So
Shun?
I'm
They were
going
shunned?
to.
Yeah.
I'm going
The
to.
constant. No.
The constant toot shunning that was going on nearly ruined the process.
I'm going to ignore all of that and get to what do you mean by a virtual museum of sorts?
Well, like I said,
You think
it's
people are going to pay to look at the constant toot
Like,
shun
what is
on
that?
their
full
computer?
sensory experience.
Oh my God.
Well,
It's
hold
not
on.
vir-
How's
you
that
said
This
tech
is
work?
Can we smell
pretty
through the screen?
Advanced. That's what we're waiting for, isn't
So
it?
she invented smell-o-vision, is what you're getting at.
I think
What a
it's
weird
it
way to
sounds
tell
like.
us that.
The way Cynthia's framing this, the way the framers did it,
Framers did it nicely done.
yeah, it's a full sensory experience. It's like you're in the room and you're experiencing what they did.
I guess
And
that's good.
Pretty advanced stuff.
Yeah.
What a weird way to use this.
How else are you
new
gonna test it out?
technology.
You know?
Yeah.
So many other
If you
ways.
can't test it out with the Constitution, I don't know
Yeah.
what you can
What's
do.
the point?
Really great work by Cynthia.
yeah, she's-
Less good work by you.
Yeah,
Felt
but
like you.
Cynthia, shout out.
Yes, but really impressive. And send us one of those.
The pass, I guess,
The
is
pass.
what we would need.
You,
I don't
so
know
you don't
how
need
we-
any new tech.
No, it's I don't know how she's doing it. I assume there's like a goggle set, maybe a face mask involved.
Sure.
But hopefully
Okay.
we'll be able to just get those, at our local library soon or museum.
Get them at your local library soon. That's exactly
Start
right.
asking.
Come on back tomorrow for a little Christmas at Sea. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Brian, you're going to be back next week for Catch a Christmas Star.
Cannot wait.
2013, Catch a Christmas Star. It's going to be a lot of fun. Until then, we're the first to wish you a
Merry Christmas!
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.